fitness, dating, finance, life related, you can feel free to drop your email in the chat if you actually want to ask me a question. If you want to jump on here, I'll give you like a free 10-15 minute life coaching session. I'm trying to make myself a little bit more available on the live side of things for my audience, and I'm especially trying to be more active on YouTube. As you guys can see, I put out like 6 YouTube videos this week. I've got more coming. The content's gonna go crazy. I have a lot of work to do, a lot of things to do, but this is how I like it. All right, we're getting some good questions in here. Let's see here. Hello, Brandon. I got a question about cheat meals. Should it be more or less than my daily calories? I usually had it every month. So a cheat meal, I don't really like to prescribe my clients cheat meals. It really depends on what your timeline is. Like you can have a cheat meal if you're way ahead of schedule. Most people aren't ahead of schedule. Most people are almost always behind schedule when it comes to preparing for a show. Cheat meals in general can be incredibly detrimental to a cut. Like they can set you back a lot. So you really have to be careful and not go overboard. I would recommend if you want to do like a fun refeed, to give yourself a good workout the next day, do like an extra 1,500 calories on top of what you had been eating in a deficit. So that'll probably put you in a surplus of like 500 to 1,000 calories for the day, depending on how big the surplus is. Oh, sweet. We got Robert in here. Fantastic. Hey, Robert, if you could, when you do get your audio connected, there we go. Let's see here.
Hello, can you hear
I
me?
can hear you perfectly. If somebody in the chat could just tell us if the audio is working, if you can hear me and you can hear Robert, drop a thumbs up in chat just so I can confirm that everything is working as it's supposed to. Perfect, Robert. Well, thank you for joining today. You are the first guest that I've ever had on here. We've got 12 people in chat, so a couple people tuning in. I spent all morning trying to get this whole setup working. It's like high quality. I got a bunch of cords plugged in and everything. So why don't you tell us where you're calling from, Robert?
I'm calling from California,
Okay, fantastic. You're from California, NorCal or SoCal?
SoCal.
Okay, sweet. And how long have you been watching my content for?
Probably about a month.
Awesome, sweet. All right, we got a thumbs up in chat, so it seems like audio is working well. Okay, so you've only been watching me for about a month, and you filled out an application to jump on a bit of a life coaching call with me to ask me a couple questions. Specifically, which ones did you want to start out with, and what exactly does it pertain to? Mainly like fitness. Do you want to start with fitness? Do you want to start with finance? You want to touch on everything? We can pretty much go over whatever you want to go over.
Mm, Where do you think would be a good starting point?
Let's see here. Let's start with the fitness side of things. Do you have any
Okay.
questions along those lines?
Yes. So I was 230 pounds at the end of December, and I decided I needed to start working out. So I've been working out for the past 5 months, and I hit a wall about 2 months ago. I'm down to 190. What what do I need to change pretty much in order to get down further?
Okay, so what do you need to change in order to get further down? And you said your starting point was 230?
Yeah.
Very impressive. Okay, so you started at 230 pounds and now you're down to 190.
Yes.
Okay, what's your current body fat percentage? What body fat percentage would you estimate yourself at?
I don't know exactly, but I estimate probably 25,
Okay, gotcha.
give or
Um,
take.
would you um would you be comfortable in letting me do a little bit of a physique evaluation and actually taking your shirt off and I can
Yeah,
just
totally.
kind of get a good look because you said okay, so you've already lost 40 pounds up until
Yeah.
this point.
So,
Okay.
I mean, uh,
Okay, gotcha. There
let's
you go.
see.
All right, so you've already lost 40 pounds at this point. And how far did you think that you would have to get down in order to be at a place where you felt like confident in your
Probably
body?
back, I was 160 back in high school.
160.
because I did wrestling and COVID hit, and wrestling and football, I didn't get that for 2 years, and I
Right.
gained a bunch of weight. And then
Okay.
I went over to Taiwan for a year, and I gained some more weight there.
I see. And how tall are
Uh,
you?
I'm 5'9",
Okay.
roughly.
So you're five foot
But yeah,
nine and you got all the way up to 230 pounds. How long have you been
yeah.
lifting for?
Uh, I did it in high school for wrestling and football, and then I stopped for 2, 3 years, and then I just started up again in January.
Gotcha. Why'd you stop originally?
I didn't have a gym to go to, and this school stopped allowing us to go to the gym at the school because of COVID.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
so it was right around that time. Yeah, I actually have quite a few clients who gained a lot of weight during that COVID time, when the gyms were all shut down. So
yeah,
you were 230 pounds at 5'9", and now
yeah,
you're all the way down to 190. Well, good job on having lost the weight. What I can tell you is you do have a lot more to go still.
I
Like
know,
you've
yeah,
got, it's pretty mind blowing when I tell people that if you're looking to get down to like 10% body fat, which is a great body fat to be at as a man because you've got abs usually, your face
hmm
is much more chiseled. Just in general, 10% is what I would say is like the ideal standard. Anywhere between 10 to like 16% is usually pretty solid, but 10% is usually where people look the best and you're going to be the most attractive. I think that you probably are going to have to get down. You said you're 190 right now.
yeah.
So I would guess that you're probably going to have to get down into the 150s.
Okay,
If you actually want to get down to a body fat percentage where you're able to see your abs, you probably have another 40 pounds to go before you start seeing definition, and
yeah,
maybe even further if you really want to chase like good vascularity and muscle definition.
yes,
But you're saying right now, have you hit a plateau? You haven't been able to lose weight in the
yeah. For
past
the
couple
past few
weeks?
months,
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you haven't been able to lose weight the past 2 months. Has anything changed? Are you still counting calories? Are you still doing
yeah. I'm
exactly what
still
you had to
counting
do?
calories.
Okay. So how many calories are you eating at the moment?
Around 2,500
Okay,
calories.
so you're eating 2,500 calories, and that's as much as you were eating to lose the 40 pounds originally?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Well done on that side of things. What do your macros look like? Do you have high protein?
Yeah, I try to eat around 150 to 200 grams of protein a day.
150 to 200 grams of protein every single day. What's your fiber number at? Do you know what that is?
I don't know,
That
and
would
I
be
believe
one
it's
thing.
low.
That would be one thing to get on top of, because what I'm going to
Okay.
tell you to do, I'm going to tell you to drop your calories lower. Like you're going to have to continue to push the calories lower. If you want to drop down, since you haven't been losing any weight at all, you're going to have to drop down at least 500 calories to probably start to see the scale move again. So I'd probably
Okay.
drop it down to 2,000. As far as activity levels go, are you active?
Yes. I golf every day, and then I try to get on the treadmill at the gym for
Okay,
an hour to 2 hours right after my workout.
gotcha. Do you know how many steps you average per day?
10,000 on the low end to 20,000.
10,000 to 20,000. Okay. So you're getting active throughout the day. Is appetite a problem at all? Have you ever struggled with excessive overeating emotionally?
Um, Not really, although when people put food in front of me, I tend to eat it,
Yep.
and that's my problem.
Exactly. Well, that's gonna have to be the transformation that you're gonna make. Ultimately, if you want to become a different person, like if you want to look like a completely different person, at the end of the day, you're going to have to completely adopt a different set of habits than the person that you were originally.
Yes.
And so you can't be the person that just like goes out and eats with your friends. You can't be the person that goes out and drinks with your friends. You can't be the person that when grandma puts a massive plate of lasagna in front of you, you just eat it to make her feel better. Like you
Yes.
can no longer be that person, especially to get to where you want to go, and lose all of
hmm
this excess body fat. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's weighing you down. You've already lost 40 pounds. You can probably already attest to how differently people treat you once you even
Yeah,
just lose
a
40
lot
pounds.
differently.
Just imagine what happens when you lose another 40 pounds. Like how different people are going to treat you then. It's literally your hard work is showing on your body. Like your face is going to look better. Your physique is going to be so much better. People are going to, in general, respect you more. Women are going to find you more attractive. So what I would say is drop the calories by 500. I'd keep your
Okay.
your activity levels high and keep them consistent. Okay, and then if you ever struggle with the appetite side of things, bump up the fiber and even bump up the protein to even slightly above 200 to basically
Okay.
keep your appetite in check so that you're not struggling with that. And you really have to make sure that you're eating that amount of calories every single day. You know, this isn't something where you're just going to be eating that amount of calories for 5 days out of the week. And then on the weekends, you know, you have a family dinner, you have this, you have that, things get in the way, people put food in front of you and you got to eat the food. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you need to be dialed in every single day of the week. And if that means saying no to eating in public settings, that is what I would personally do. Like when I was larger, one of the most empowering things that I ever did was simply say like, hey, I'm just not going to eat in public places outside of my house. Like I'm not going to do it unless I'm bringing my own food with me. Like because I had a goal. I had a goal that I wanted to accomplish and I wanted to get there
Yes.
by any means. And so if you do go out in public and you eat food, then one of the main things that you can do is just extremely overestimate the amount of calories that you are eating. You know, you eat one slice of pizza and maybe say that slice of pizza is 500 calories, even though it's a small slice of pizza. You know, do
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
I understand
at
what you
the end
mean.
of the day, you're sort of punishing yourself for eating food that you can't track quite as well, if that makes sense. And
Hmm.
obviously try to keep the protein high, but at the end of the day, you should try to stay on top of keeping the calories lower than what you have assigned, which from here on out is going to be 2000.
Okay. I do have a question.
Yeah.
How bad is it if you eat like the 2,000 calories one day, but then the next day you don't eat as much and you eat like 1,000? How bad is that?
So you're saying if you eat the 2000 calories one day, but then the next day you only eat 1000 calories?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so that's not terrible, especially considering you're getting your protein in. That
Okay.
should be totally fine. You're just going to lose weight faster. If cutting calories that low causes you to make you want to binge the next day though, then that's going to be a problem. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
I at the beginning I was only eating around 1,000 calories a day and I dropped weight really fast. And I really didn't have a problem with overeating because I was just telling my mom just I gotta eat this. I can't go out. And then
Yep.
over time I kind of loosened up with that and I've just
Exactly.
been eating with her. But
Yep, you have to be really careful of that. You have to be really careful of that. And people are going to make fun of you. People are going to tease you like for being that guy. But at the end of the day, when you become that guy, you've seen what happens when you lose the weight. You've seen how people treat you
yeah.
differently when you do lose the weight. So, they're going to treat you a whole lot better once you do get there. So
Yes.
just remember that, and you're going to feel a lot more confident. So at the end of the day, it's 100% worth it. Like never be scared to go against the pack, to go against the grain, you know, to do your own thing. And that's exactly what it
Yes.
sounds like you need to do here.
Okay.
Awesome. So probably another 40 pounds to lose. You've got a good idea of what you should be doing nutrition wise. Continue training hard, working out in the gym regularly. Don't take breaks on that. Like don't take
Yeah.
breaks on that. Anything could happen to you right now, man. You could pull like the worst thing ever, like car crash, you lose both legs. Like I want to know that Robert's still going to be in the gym. Like we're working out with no legs. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the
Yes.
day, like you just have to make that commitment like to training for the rest of your life no matter the circumstances.
Yes.
And
I've been really good about going to
good.
the gym every single
All
day.
right,
So
stay consistent with that. All right, let's get into another topic here. What about the relationship side of things, dating side of things? How's that?
Uh, okay. One thing though, how do I come across more confident when I am talking to women
Yeah, so that's a great question. When it comes to, I actually have a whole entire whiteboard of things written
from your
down
video
because
that you posted
I
yesterday?
did
I
post a
watched that
YouTube
last
video and
night.
you watched that. Okay, well, then I'll probably reiterate a couple of the main things. But at the end of the day, number one, you have to take all attraction straight out of the conversation. Like I said in the video, if you're talking to an attractive woman, like pretend like she is not attractive at all. And the best thing that you can do is just get reps in with random people. You know, random people that you aren't trying to hit on, random people that you don't find attractive. Go practice conversating with them first, and then that will play over into your ability to talk to the woman that you actually want to talk to. And don't treat her differently when you ultimately do talk to her. Like, be as casual as possible. A lot of people get carried away with over explaining. You know, they say, oh my gosh, like she's so attractive, and then you walk up to her and you're like, oh, how's it going? And that's the whole problem, is like your attraction is coming through in the conversation. Treat her like a random girl who you're not attracted to at all. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes
Okay,
sense.
so that's one of the biggest things that you can do. Confidence in general will also flow out of you if you are the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So losing that weight, you know, and establishing like that you are the person who does this, you are the person who does that, you are the person that doesn't drink. You are the person that doesn't eat crap. You know what I'm saying? When you're
Yes, I
around other
understand.
people, just doing that and becoming the person that and identifying as somebody who's strong, and when they say that they're going to do something, they do it. That ultimately is going to dramatically increase your confidence, and that is going to play over into your conversations with women. So I think that that's going to help a lot.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions revolving around the relationship side of things?
Um, this might be a specific question, but there was this girl that I was talking to back in December, and I didn't take the initiative and asked her out, and she ended up another dude ended up asking her out before I could.
Hmm.
Is it should I stick around with that and see where it goes?
Hmm.
Because she and I are decent friends right now, and we talk decently often. But should
Very
I?
interesting.
I don't know. It seems kind of disingenuous to like hang out and still try and be there for
Do
her when
you
she
do
has
you
a
know the guy?
boyfriend. Vaguely, he was in class with us.
Hmm. Okay, so you know him vaguely, and they're officially a couple now?
Yeah, they're a couple.
Okay. That's a great question. You know what I would do, Robert? I would focus on reaching out to other girls at the moment. That is sort of
Okay.
a relationship where you can talk to her here and there. You know, you can conversate with her. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't pursue her, because if at any point you are pursuing her while she's in the relationship, and then she gives you attention while she's in a relationship with the other guy, that's a huge red flag, first of all. So like
Yeah.
you have to be careful of that. And at the end of the day, you're not trying to like tempt a woman to, you know,
Yeah, I don't want to
to
do
leave the
that.
relationship that she's already in. I think that we can both agree that that's not the best thing to do. So what I would do personally, if I were you, Robert, I would continue to lose the weight. I would continue to like work on the confidence, and then I would go talk to other girls. I would get a couple of other dates lined up. I would find some other girls that you were interested in, and I would ask them out. And I would just look around a little bit. And at the end of the day, if that woman, if she is genuinely attracted to you, like if she needs to feel the pull. She needs to feel
Yeah,
the
I
pull of
understand.
your frame. And if that's not the case, then there's really no point in pursuing her while she's in the relationship at the end of the day. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So that comes off as sort of needy and desperate, you know, especially when she's
Hmm.
already in a relationship. So you have to be careful with that. Somebody somebody in here said I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but can bro put a shirt on? Dude, I told him to take his shirt off,
I
Wilson.
did. I
I
put my
told him
shirt back
I
on.
told him to take it off. So yeah, that is totally fine that you had your shirt off. Yeah, so that is a really, really good question, actually. And that is probably one that a lot of people will run into. At the end of the day, she needs to feel the pull of your frame. So let her come back when the time is right.
Okay.
Really good question. Anything else along those lines?
Not for dating wise.
Awesome, sweet. All right, well, yeah, let's get into more life stuff.
Okay. I'll go with so what is an important thing to know as a man that I wouldn't know growing up in a house with a single mother who adopted me? I was
Wow.
taught like the basics of how to like treat women and like help elders and whatnot, but I never had a dad to tell me the man talk of life.
Yeah.
What do I need to know?
Well, you seem very kind, and that's great. You know, you were just raised by your mom. You never had like a strong
No.
patriarchal figure.
Yeah, no. Just
Okay,
my mom.
very interesting. I think that one of the biggest things that guys are going to miss out from having when they don't have a dad in the picture is ultimately how to be a strong leader in a relationship. And this just plays out for most men nowadays because they are a lot more feminized. A lot of men don't know how to lead. They don't know how to make decisions for not only themselves, but for other people as well. And the more that you can start to develop like a very, very good skill of decision making and critical thinking, that is really going to benefit you. And when you say something, let your yes be yes, let your no be no. This ultimately all comes back to the fitness side of things as well. Like you really need to dial in that side of things. You can't be somebody that's wishy-washy. You can't be somebody that folds, under pressure. At the end of the day, when you are a man, the most important thing that you can do is carve out your values and understand exactly what you want to stand for, and then hold on to the values, until there's like blood dripping from your hands. Like never let them go, essentially. That's what I always tell people. And when you have just a mother, like it can be difficult to understand that. Women in general are a lot more emotional. You saw during the time of the sickness when it spread everywhere,
Yeah.
and they shut down all the gyms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That was a point in time when everybody was way too emotional. And at the end of the day, I think that women played a massive role in why that was so chaotic. It's because women are easier to manipulate via emotions. Stay home,
Mm-hmm.
put a mask on, do all this type of stuff. Grandma's going to get sick. Grandma's going to die. You as a man, like bringing it back to that original thing, like you should say, hey, no, I'm going to church no matter what. Like I'm going to do this no matter what. Like I'm not going to be told what to do. I'm not going to
Yes.
be bossed around. So that's the kind of opposing thing where you want to love others, you want to be peaceful, but at the end of the day, you do not want to be pushed around. You don't want to be docile. You don't want to be tolerant. You cannot let your values be affected by what other people think, what other people say, or how other people feel, which is an incredibly important one, especially growing up. From your perspective, what do you think? What do you think that you lack a little bit not growing up with a father figure?
Mostly just the like go like oh
Oh, just a sec here. Let me switch this over. There we go. I'm gonna have to switch to
uh,
my MacBook because it looks like my camera battery died.
oh okay.
Even though I have it plugged in, that's interesting. Oh, it might have overheated too. Okay, I'll turn that off for now. This is still a pretty quality camera. And the audio is still coming through here, right? So we're good?
Yes, it's
Awesome.
coming through.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I would say the assertiveness that comes with being a man, I would say, because my mom was always like, you don't have to be like on people, you can be a little bit laid back.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've seen, like you gotta take the initiative, you gotta be the first to do it. You can't wait.
100%. As a man, you have to learn to be confrontational.
Yeah.
Like you really have to learn to be confrontational. And growing up in the society, even like I grew up, with a strong like fatherly figure in my life, and I still have had to go out and practice being confrontational and say what I think. And it's difficult. It's difficult sometimes. And I think that a lot of people, this stems from people just care way too much about what other people think of them. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? People are very, very worried. If they say something and somebody's like, ooh, I'm not sure about that, they feel like they have to grovel in order to defend themselves, in order to defend what they say. And so when you say something, one of the best things you can do is stand on business. Like double down. Don't say things that you don't mean, but when you do say something and somebody takes issue with it, just be like, Yeah, like that's fine. Like I mean, you can disagree with me, but I think that. And if they want to ask you questions on that further, be ready to defend it. But at the same time, it does take going out of your comfort zone and being more assertive. And that
Yes.
is difficult. It's something that I think pretty much every man in today's society needs to work on. So yeah, any other things that you feel like have been lacking from that standpoint?
Um, Not really in particular anything else that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, sweet. Well, that's all great. Any other questions pertaining to any other topics that you wanted to
Um,
ask? I think the main ones were life, dating, fitness, finances, anything along
yeah,
those
so
lines.
finance question. Since I'm young, is it worth spending my money and traveling the world, or should I just be saving it up and go later in life?
Yeah. Do not. How old are you again?
19.
You're 19 years old. Don't travel in your 20s. It's the biggest waste of time in my opinion. So many people come to me and they say, "Brandon, our economy is so bad. Like Brandon, how are we supposed to have a family in this economy?" And it's like, "Dude, well you're 30 years old. You spent the last 12 years of your life traveling or going into debt, like going to school for something that you don't even use now. You're currently working at a job where you didn't even need a degree in order to get that job in the first
Yeah.
place." And these people, they go around trying to have these experiences. They think that it's a part of the human experience. It's mandatory that you travel and get drunk and party and go to clubs in your 20s. I think it's one of the biggest lies of all time. And then these people, when they like, imagine if you met a woman, like if you travel for the next 5 to 8 years, imagine that you meet a woman and then you want to have like kids with her. Like, how are you supposed to support a family when you've spent the past, 6, 7, 8 years of your life spending all your money, jumping job to job, like trying to live as freely as possible? I think that the biggest problem with men is that they aren't growing up at a young age. Like, I think men need to start taking responsibility at 13, at 14, at 15, 16 years old, even getting their first jobs, like starting to work, understand what hard work means, understand what it looks like to take pride in your work, so that by the time that they get to their 20s, like they can really start to assert themselves in the workplace. Like you should be dangerous in your 20s. You should be someone who is like outperforming everybody else because you're just simply working harder. You know what I'm saying? You have more energy, you're
Yes.
driven. You're all these things versus if you go travel, you find yourself at 30 years old and you're behind the curve. You haven't learned any skills. Like you start learning your skills when you're 30. Like it's going to take you so long to get to the point that you could be if you just started working earlier on, built something for yourself or even built yourself up in a company. Like I think that it's the most ridiculous thing of all time to be like, "Oh, I'm going to go travel, I'm going to enjoy my 20s and then during my 30s I'll go and I'll have a career." So don't you and the rest of the our generation, like we're not entitled to do whatever we want to do. And at the end of the day, Robert, what you'll come to understand if you do travel around is the fact that sitting on a beach drinking margaritas is not what is going to make you fulfilled at all.
Yeah.
Like experiences do not fulfill men. They do not fulfill men. Men feel fulfilled through their work. They feel
Yeah.
fulfilled through building something awesome. Like I really, really recommend that what you do right now, and what are you doing for work? Did you mention what that was?
I don't work right now. I'm just a full-time student.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So you're a full-time student right now. I would really, if I were you, I would start looking into internships. I would just be incredibly active even when you are a student. Because, dude, people make the biggest mistake going into school because they're chasing some sort of purpose. Everybody wants purpose. And you know what school is for most people? It's for people that aren't trying to become a doctor or a lawyer or something very, very like niche specific in a career. Most people are just looking to get told what to do. Like they just want to
yes.
be told what to do. They want to be told, hey, go do this homework. And they're like, oh, I'm getting A's, or oh, I'm getting B's, or oh, I'm living the college experience. They're looking for purpose. And when you get spat out by the university system at the very end of it, a lot of guys are spat out at the end with, loans and a degree that's really not getting them much of anything. When they're spat out by that system, that's where they experience the most loneliness. Because now you're like, well, the college experience is over. What do I do? Do I go travel? And then they continue to chase that experience through
Yeah.
traveling. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So the best thing that you can do, how many credits are you taking right now?
14 right now.
Dude, if you're taking 14 credits, I would get a job.
Yeah.
I would get a job if I were you. Are you paying for your own tuition?
No, my mother is.
Gotcha. Okay, so your family's paying for that, which is awesome. Okay.
Yes.
I would seriously recommend getting a job right now. Like you
Okay.
you need to work. You need to be busy and you ultimately need to learn skills. Like you have to become valuable so that time what's your major?
Astronomical engineering.
Gotcha. Okay, so at least it's an engineering field. So it
Yes.
pertains better. There
Yeah.
there are different rankings that I have. You're doing a good job
It's not philosophy.
in terms of the one that you picked. Yeah. So what I would do is if I were you, I would start looking for internships. I would start looking for jobs where you can literally understand better than everybody else that you are around how to use your actual degree in the marketplace. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Or
Yes.
even start planning out what a business might look like. I don't really know what that sector looks like in terms of entrepreneurship, but I'm sure there's some way that you could start some sort of business doing what you're doing, like what you would be doing after you graduate. You could probably do it now. So start looking into that side of things. If entrepreneurship is something that interests you, start looking into business, start looking into sales. Like those are things that are going to come in handy no matter what your degree is. If you ultimately want to achieve financial freedom, entrepreneurship is the quickest way there. So if I were you, you're
Yes.
taking 14 credits, you should be working, dude. Like you should be working a job, you should be stacking cash. You should be stacking cash right now. And as of right now, that's the best thing that you can do.
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, yeah, those are great questions. Anything else that you wanted to field my way?
I can't think of anything else.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on, Robert. This was
Thanks for having me.
really, really great. This went really, really well. And yeah, thanks for reaching out. Especially you've only been watching for a month, so I'm surprised that you had the one to jump on here. That's not too long that you've been watching my content and been exposed to it. So I hope that it continues to help you. And if you have any other questions, I'm going to be continuing to do these probably 2 days per week. So you can
Okay.
always come back on if there's anything else that you wanted to ask.
Yeah. I'll keep in touch with you.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Robert. Have a good one, man. And you can
You as
yeah,
well.
you
Have an
can
amazing
feel
day.
free to leave the call whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Thanks for jumping in, man.
Yes. Bye.
Great. Great questions from Robert. Shout out to Robert for jumping in the stream. That was fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a bathroom break. If anybody else wants to jump on stream, drop your email. I see there's 19 people. There's 19 people in here. I'm probably only going to be on here for another 30 minutes. So if you want to jump on here and ask questions just like Robert was doing, drop your email in the comment section. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. That was great advice, Brandon, that you gave that guy. Thank you, Julian. Ezra, what's up, man? So my camera died. I don't know why it died. It's plugged in here. It's so interesting. Yeah, so my camera's plugged in, but I don't know why it died in the middle of that. It said camera battery's low, but it should be charging at the same time. Yeah, got it plugged in. So I guess we'll see. We'll see if it still continues to charge. You know what I'll do? I'm gonna turn the camera off, and then. All right, so I turned the camera off for now. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just wait for somebody else. If somebody else wants to jump on the stream, you can drop your email inside the chat, and I will email you the Zoom link if you're interested in joining. And then when somebody else joins, then I'll switch over to the camera. But it's currently charging right now, so we're just gonna kind of let that charge for a while. All right. Why isn't this? Did this catch me? There we go. Okay. We'll go through the chat here and answer a couple of questions. That was great advice, Brandon, that you gave that guy. Thanks for having me. Great info. Thanks for coming on, man. That was fantastic. I really appreciate it. We'll have to have you on in the future as well. I think we're going to be doing these streams every Sunday, possibly. If nobody joins, you should talk about Christianity. If you want me to talk about Christianity or anything along those lines, you just have to be a little bit more specific with what exactly you want me to touch on, because I can talk about random things for hours. I hate to say it, but I thought it was lame until I heard you speak on it. What did you think was lame? Oh, you thought Christianity was lame until you heard me speak on it. Interesting. That's a very interesting take. No, Christianity is the furthest thing from lame. It's just modern Christianity is definitely not headed in a great direction right now. So that's part of why I started making these videos. Could you read my questions above in chat? Okay, I see Luis's questions here. Are you saying that work should satisfy and should totally satisfy and fulfill a person? No, not totally, but as a man, it is a huge, huge part of the equation, like a massive part of the equation. God, Jesus, is the only one that's ultimately going to, but that goes without saying. I'm trying to be careful with how much Christianity I talk about, because I don't want to force things down people's throat too much. Because like it's so easy just to give Jesus as the answer to every single question, and that's not what I'm trying to do. When people are like, "Oh, I'm depressed," I don't want to just go, Jesus, even though that is a huge part of the equation. We're talking about more fitness, more dating, more lifestyle, things that you can ultimately do that are going to help you get into a better situation. Hi, Brandon. Strongly respect you for the high quality fitness content and promoting Christian philosophy to your audience. I have a couple of questions for you. Number one, in your video talking about psychotherapy, you said that it's BS for men. But I think that the roots of psychology are strongly connected to the origins of Christian morality. Dude, psychology has gone off the rails. Go look at who the leaders of psychology today are. Like, it's absolutely detestable, the people that are leading it. Do you know that the leaders of psychology have determined that the leading cause of anxiety in America is climate anxiety, climate-induced anxiety? Just think about that for a second. Like, psychology is a completely liberal, washed field, and it's all about, like I talked in that video, it's all about victimizing yourself. It's all about, like, just being able to blame everything but yourself for the situation that you are in. And that's the reason why I ultimately hate it. You know, there are some, like, obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, there are some very, very good psychologists. There are some very, very bad psychologists. But great question. So a competent psychologist and you are kind of playing on the same side. No, dude, most psychologists are not Christian. Most psychologists are very anti-Christianity. So that is definitely not the case. I would hope that most psychologists are. And if they are Christian, I hope that they are encouraging people towards the things that I was talking about in the video. But specific one, do you distinguish between branches of Christianity? For example, what is your opinion on Eastern Orthodox Church? The Bishop of Rome is not admitted as the head of the church there. I think that Eastern Orthodox is great. I think that there are a lot of Catholics that are Christians. I think that there are a lot of Orthodox that are Christians. At the end of the day, I think that every single denomination has people that will be in heaven. I have a roommate who is Catholic. We debate quite a bit. I think that he's saved. You know, I think that at the end of the day, bickering a whole lot between the denominations is a little bit dangerous. You have to be careful about that. Let's see here. Hi, bro. I am new and upcoming YouTuber. Please give me advice. And by the way, great body. I'm still trying to figure this whole YouTube thing out. This is part of it right here. You're witnessing me trying to figure the whole YouTube thing out. So the videos that I've been posting recently have been doing really good. I'm really, really glad that people are enjoying them. My whole point of social media has always ever been to provide as much value as humanly possible. Like, that's my goal. And that's why I'm making videos in the first place. So hopefully that answers your question. Yo, Brandon, have you ever thought about running a 100-mile ultra marathon? Yeah, I am not going to do that. I am not a runner. I would prefer to challenge myself lifting, which I do every day when I train to failure for an hour and a half. Emmanuel says, please let me join the stream. Emmanuel, if you drop your email inside of the chat, I will send you the Zoom link if you want to join. Keep in mind, nothing can be on here that is inappropriate. Brandon, appreciate your content. What tips do you have for coming up with content ideas? When it comes to content ideas, what I really like to do is I like to treat the problems that I'm running into throughout the day as like content. So when I'm solving problems throughout the day, I'm posting content about solving those problems. When my clients are running into problems, I post content about how we are solving those problems. I also just take whatever entertaining topics that float my way. To be honest, as of now, like, I've developed what I like to call the creative mindset. And once you do that, you have too many content ideas. And so I have too many videos that I want to post. I posted on Instagram 4 times yesterday, once on YouTube. I posted on YouTube 7 times this week. I posted the day before yesterday, I posted on Instagram 7 times in one day. So I make a lot of content. And the best way that you can get better in content is just putting a lot more there. Putting a lot more out. Please tell me how long it takes you to edit and how long it takes, because it took me 7 hours on a 20-second reel. Bro, what are you talking about? I can make a reel. Usually it takes me no longer than 10 minutes. Even if it's like a pretty in-depth reel where I'm going in and I'm talking a lot, it's very, very short. I do not spend much time editing at all. Are you on Twitch? I am not on Twitch. I'm currently just streaming on YouTube. Also, I am sorry if I'm spamming the chat, but I'm not sure my internet is even going through. Eli, that is the first message that I've seen from you. Besides the one where you said, I love your channel. 100 miles. Yeah, I don't really feel like running 100 miles. That is for sure. If anybody wants to join the chat, you can feel free to drop your email. But other than that, we got a really, really good interview in there with Robert. So I'm comfortable just kind of ending things there. It seems like the other person who I had that was thinking about jumping in has not responded at all. So he probably will not be joining. I think we'll go ahead and end it there. I'm going to go ahead and go to the gym and do some cardio, and then I'm going to head to a family dinner because it is Sunday. So thank you, Robert, very much for joining. You guys, it takes a lot of confidence to come on somebody else's stream and take your shirt off and be judged. So really, really big shout out to Robert. If you guys are interested in being on the next one of these, DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram, Brandon_C_Clark. All right. Go DM me on Instagram if you want to ultimately be in Robert's position and be able to ask me questions on a live call. I think we're going to go ahead and end it there, lads. Thank you guys very much for showing up, and we'll be doing this more regularly, especially now that I've got all of the tech figured out. So have a great rest of your day, your Sunday, and I will see you guys all in the next one.